joining my little presentation. We have 25 minutes together. I'll try to leave like 5 to 10 minutes in the end for any questions you might have. And I hope you have fun. So my name is Sandy. I live in Munich, Germany. And when I'm not mountain hiking and soccer playing, I work with organizations and teams to have a better understanding of their strategy, be more aware of their ways of working together, and bring out the human side in the business world. So what I want to talk to you about today is, well, as you can see, we're talking about product visions or vision statements in general. So I want to continue with, well, first with the agenda. The first part are vision statements, right? I hope everyone who joined right now has an open mind towards vision statements. And then we'll talk about, well, the question, why are we even here? I have an answer for that, so stay tuned. Creating a story together, as my title suggests, we will talk about story co-creation. And then, of course, how to connect the dots. And as I stated, I want to set aside like 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A. So let's go. So vision statements, right? What's the problem with vision statements? So I feel like the term vision statement or vision and purpose has been kind of overused in the past few years. I don't know how you feel about that, but I see organizations throwing that term around, and consultancies, by the way, with kind of not really knowing what the job of a vision statement is, or why you should have one. So everyone gets a vision, like her enthusiasm there. The other thing that I see often with vision statements is that they consist more or less of marketing slogans or evergreens, something along the lines of, we want to delight our customers, which is fair enough, but that doesn't really spark creativity or ideas, does it? It's not very distinguishable from other organizations who might want the same thing. And the other thing that I see a lot is vision statements containing KPIs or any sort of business numbers, right? So something along the lines of, in 10 years, we will have a market share of 25.3% and a profit margin of, what's a good value, 15.7%? While that might be, a valid wish, it doesn't really foster connection, and doesn't really spark ideas, does it? So while using numbers, that brings me to my next point that I want to talk about is, it caters to one part of the brain. It's very important. It's pretty new. And I see businesses, focusing mostly on that part. So let's look at that. So fact-based memory. By the way, disclaimer. I just got a message that this is being live streamed, so I hope the past 5 minutes have been live streamed already. I will talk about 2 types of memories, and disclaimer, like what I talk about now, like in the next few minutes, will not encompass the entirety of neuroscience or brain research. So I just want to shed a light on one aspect that makes us humans tick. So the fact-based memory is pretty new. As the name suggests, it processes facts and details and processes and like all that sort of structured formal stuff. And that's important, right? So it helps us out a lot as humans. Businesses really like leverage that part of the brain, but also with phrasing their vision statements and phrasing their goals. This is what I often observe. And while using numbers is valid because, well, it's a business, right? So depending on your type of business, you will have to communicate that with the outside world through your balance sheet or something like that. So that's all fine. But only focusing on that part of the brain, right, really makes organizations miss out on another part of the brain that brought us here. And you remember the question from the agenda, why are we even here? And we are here because we have this part of the brain. We have the episodic memory. And as you might guess from the picture, this is what made us survive as a species. Not only our ability to adapt to our environment, but also we were able to, or we still are able to organize large groups through stories, through narratives. And this is what makes us humans connect, right? So in this part of the brain, we process experiences, we process events, we process emotions through storytelling and through our, our neurons, right? They reflect what our partner who talks to us tells us. We relive that experience with them because we're capable of that. And leaving that part out in business really makes businesses miss out on such a huge potential. And that's why I started learning about that. I started learning about narrative organization development. I started learning about narrative techniques to shape and design my workshops. And that's what I want to show you right now. So let's see what we have here. Meetupskill.us. That's not their real name, but you will get the idea. So a little context to them. I've been working with them for like 2 years now. As their name suggests, they work in upskilling employees, basically bridging the gap between current skill sets and the demands of the new business world or the ever-changing business world. And they've been embedded in kind of a large enterprise. They were pretty successful, have been branched out, and now they're working, well, let's say European-wide, if not globally. They've grown quite a lot in the past few years, both in numbers of clients and also numbers of employees, which brings their own challenges to the table. But yeah, so they have been grappling with tailoring their offerings to like very diverse learning styles and professional backgrounds of employees, while at the same time ensuring high quality that they were pretty much known for, right? So as they grew, the what wasn't going to cut it anymore any longer. So they were focusing more on the why. And the leadership team approached me saying that they've been approached by their employees basically were asked to provide like a vision statement, right? To give clarity and direction, and that they can get behind. And they've been trying several things, and that was okay, but they weren't really happy with that. So they were willing to try something else when I suggested to try something new and work with narrative techniques. And of course, I used Miro for that. I use Miro both on-site and virtually. So these 3 workshops, or the series of a 3-part workshop that I'm going to show you right now, actually took place online and on-site, not hybrid, but 1 was on-site and 2 were online. and I introduced them to story co-creation. So this is the basis of it all, right? And the key question here was, okay, like what will the future of your customers, your clients look like? And I asked them to only use images or icons and GIFs. So no written words, no numbers, just images, pictures. And here on the right, you can see a little snapshot of it was just a blank canvas, and I asked them to really tell a story with pictures and use metaphors for what they tried to say. And that was on site. We still use Miro for that. And they had they'd come up with the first draft of a vision statement that they were happy with to continue, like good enough for now. Which is a good value to have in workshopping, basically. And the next workshop we did was with a larger group. So here, the first one was only with the leadership team, right? There were 4 of them. And in this story workshop exercise, we invited some employees, we invited some other managers, and we took that first vision draft and we asked the participants to connect with it, right? So we asked, what stands out for you? And I invited them to think of an experience they had with customers, with clients, where some parts of the vision already came true, where they already saw it in the here and now or in the past. So the reason behind that is we don't want just like a very abstract, vision statement that's in the far future, but there's no bridge to the now. And asking for experiences with key parts of phrases does build that bridge, so they can really connect with the vision statement. And I asked them to pair up, gave them a little time for them to reflect on their own, come up with an experience, with a story, asked them to use the Miro board to jot down some ideas, or actually also use pictures to highlight what they wanted to talk about, and then pair up and share in pairs their experiences and reflect on them. And then we came back into the larger group. A few people shared their experience and the experience of the experience sharing. And what we distilled from that, we incorporated in the first vision statement draft, and that we completed with another exercise that combines the previous 2 workshops, plus transports the experiences from the previous workshop into the future. So now the key question here was, right, so it's the year 2030. You meet a customer, a client in a coffee shop, wherever, and they tell you a story about how upskill impacted their life. How does that story go, right? Here you see also a snapshot of, we used Miro for that, of course. You see a snapshot here, how that would look like. I encouraged them to also use images, but also type words to really take us by the hand and lead us through their future signature story, like a future anecdote, if you want. And so bridging the gap between the faraway kind of abstract future and the past and the now. So there's really a connection. For that workshop, we stayed in a larger group with, of course, the leadership, the 4 people of the leadership, plus some managers and some employees. So we would have even more aspects to the vision statement that we wanted. And in the end, they came up with a vision statement. I'm going to show it to you in a second. But the very important thing here is that, well, if you read it right now, you might not have a strong connection, or you might have the feeling that it doesn't really resonate with you. But as the title suggests, without story co-creation, words are only words, and there's no resonance, there's no emotion in it. But because we did those earlier workshops, people were able to really connect to what you can read here. And this is the final draft, still a draft, because I always encourage them to, well, have the vision statement, but also review it on an annual basis, because, well, the world is changing a lot, right? Plus, so I want to quote the keynote that I heard earlier. So it doesn't really, it's not enough to only write it down. Well, we have to act on it too, right? So I want to bring you to the last impulse that I want to give you is connecting the dots, right? So we want to bring it into action. As I said earlier, when I introduced myself, I work with OKRs, with objectives and key results. I see it as an agile narrative framework that allows us to bring the vision closer to us. So when you look in the framework of OKRs, you have the vision statement, you bring it even closer to you using the midterm goal. That's basically like a vision statement for the next 12 or 18 months through the lens of your customer or client, and then bring it even closer, right? With objectives and key results who focus on the next 3 to 4 months. And then the nitty-gritty, like the real execution, the to-dos, the activities that you can pour into whatever you're using, right? Scrum, Kanban, project management, getting things done, what have you. But this also ensures that you're really connecting the dots, not only in that direction, but also back. So you have to really reflect your vision statement on an annual basis, if it's still plausible. So looking at the time, I hope you take away some inspiration for your work with your teams, for your organizations. So 3 key takeaways that I want to give you today is that we as humans, we connect through stories and experiences, right? That's what sets us apart. Keep your business numbers. They're fine. It's all good with them, but also complement them with narrative elements. And if you want to execute your vision statement, really look for frameworks that will allow you to continue using narrative techniques. That's it for now, 20 minutes. Of course, every aspect of that, you can go way deeper. I would be happy to jump on a call, on a virtual coffee or whatever. Visit my website, say hi, let's connect. Put your questions in the chat if you have any. I believe we have 5 minutes left in this session. I hope all right, there are some questions. How did you transition from pictures to words? Did you collect the words that were used to describe their images, for example? Did you use Miro to wordsmith the vision statement with the group from the chat? Yeah, so with the going from images to words, going on that first workshop, that co-creation workshop where we had only images, right? In the end, I asked them to tell the story behind their pictures. Like what do they want to convey with the pictures? What's in it for them, right? What do they mean for them? And while they tell this story, I ask another participant, or if the group's small enough, like in that case, I typed some keywords that they were using. And so with the keywords, with the key phrases that stood out, that might also have come several times, we used that to, wordsmith the first vision draft. I also believe that the slides will be shared. So for anyone who might still be here or is watching this later, you can reach out to me through, LinkedIn might be the easiest way to connect with me, and ask any questions you might have, and I'll be happy to answer them. I was just asked to describe the process of moving from vision to OKR a little more. So the vision statement is there, it's very abstract. And then the leadership team comes together again, sometimes accompanied by other managers, and they craft a vision statement for the next 12 to 18 months. But also with point of view their customers, right? So what's different for them in a year? What problems have been lifted from them? What can they do? What will they say? And this is where we make choices, right? So they have to decide what to say no to. Like, it's more concrete than the vision statement, but also doesn't include any final solutions. The final solutions come later when teams within the organization look at that midterm goal, right? So for 12 to 18 months, and then craft their objectives and key results connected to that midterm goal. I believe my time is up. So if you have any questions about that, about OKRs, about vision statements, about narrative techniques, hit me up. I'll be happy to connect. I'll be happy to jump on a chat, on a call. And thank you so much. It was an honor and a pleasure being here. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the event. And I will tune into other sessions. Have fun and see you soon.